put it to you this way. We are proud of being black and of our black heritage. But white America does not accept the concept that this is a multiracial society. It has never accepted the fact that there are black people, brown people, yellow people here alongside them. They've always looked upon America as being white. And hence, all of its propaganda is directed at us to convince us that somehow or the other we must become white before they will accept us. Even a publication like Ebony, with a subscription of something like 800,000 Negro subscribers, is written for what we call the low visibility Negro, the light-skinned Negro. With a rare exception, Ebony never features the activities of the black man in this country. It's always that low visibility, the almost white Negro, and how you too can be this way one day if you use some of the skin lighteners that they run in their advertisement. I mean, when it runs ads like Dr. Fred Palmer's skin whiteners, it is denial of the fact that black people exist. That somehow or the other, in order for us to exist, we must resort to using hair straighteners so our hair won't be kinky. That somehow, if we could only hide our blackness, we can then become part of this thing called the American melting pot or the American scene.
The problem is the standard for discussion is set by the whites, and a lot of Negroes now don't want to accept that standard anymore. They say, are we going to have our own standard? I think that the hookup comes if you can develop a whole new standard where whites and Negroes can have a dialogue. Not either one of those are acceptable anymore. I mean, whites aren't going to accept Negro standards, and Negroes no longer want to be white. So that the clear thing is to develop a whole new standard, and then everybody move toward that so they can be some kind of dialogue.
From a child up, I always, at first, I wanted to be white, because my family was 20 of us, 6 girls and 14 boys. We would make 50 and 60 bales of cotton, gather all that cotton, and we wouldn't have food in the wintertime. So I figured then the white people must be right. But as I got older, I said, no, there's something wrong. And if I ever get a chance, I'm going to do something about it. I never will forget, Mr. Wilkins came to me one day from the NAACP that I found out at that national convention was the National Association of the Advancement of Certain People, but it didn't include us in Mississippi. And he came to me and told me, he said, you people are ignorant. You don't know anything about politics. You put your crown over, why don't you pack up and go home? Well, at that time, I imagined that he was being pressured.
I think Martin Luther King is the logic of the Negro leader, and he's trying to get Negroes into the middle class. I mean, the body politic, which ultimately is to get them into the mainstream of American life. Now, Malcolm said there was something wrong with the mainstream of American life, and there was something wrong with not getting in there. I mean, why get in the middle of a cesspool? That's my own attitude.
I'm all white.
Given the rapid advancement of the technology in the country today, every black child over 10 is already obsolete in terms of the needs and demands of the technology. So some kind of dole system would have to be set up where we would be supported for the rest of our lives, while all of the efforts, concentration in terms of education, motivation be placed on the black children between the ages of 1 and 10, so that they will have the equipment to enter into the technology that's America. There's been a lot of talk and a lot of shuffling of papers, but in terms of the plight of the black man in this country, there's been no perceptible change, primarily because the white man has no reason to. He enjoys the highest standard of living. His government enjoys dominance in world affairs. Why should he turn to me now and say, I want to share part of my good fortune with you? He has no reason to.
I think there's going to be violence, see, because there already has been. I mean, when people try to free themselves, they kill Negroes in the South all the time. The Negro man has been emasculated and destroyed by the fact that every time he stood up, he got just snuffed out right there. So I don't think there's any question but that there's going to be violence and brutality. But my attitude is that the brutality and the violence shouldn't become the reason that you want to be free. But that's a very personal thing, the freedom is. See, the question isn't what is freedom to me, it's what price freedom. Because sometimes the price that you pay for freedom is the very thing that makes you a slave again. That's what I think happened in Russia in 1917. But I know that there's going to be violence. I mean, I think it gets blurred, especially the individual. If I face you violently, see, who knows where that violence began? See, I mean, I might, if I face you with a gun and I got orders to kill you and you got orders to kill me, then we can't really deal with each other. Where you're a target and I'm a target. So you can't really talk about that. But you can talk about the larger thing, the much more universal thing. The reason that you're there, see, is really not to kill, but to free.
Let us take a look at Harlem, 1964, when approximately 20 Molotov cocktails were exploded in Harlem. And in 1965, in August, in Watts, Los Angeles, 2,000 Molotov cocktails were exploded. I think that we are developing a more sophistication, and I think in the next uprising, and I suspect it will probably come either in Washington, D.C. or in another unnamed city, where you're going to find 5,000 Molotov cocktails used.
But yet he has found no Tom, no puppet, no parrot who is still dumb enough in 1962 to represent the injustices that he's afflicting against our people. We don't care what your religion is. We don't care what organization you belong to. We don't care how far in school you went or didn't go. We don't care what kind of job you have. We have to give you credit for shocking the white man by not letting him divide you and use you one against the other. In the past, the greatest weapon the white man has been his ability to divide and conquer. As Jackie Robinson pointed out beautifully on the television last night, 4/5 of the world isn't white. Isn't that what Jackie said? And if 4/5 of the world is dark, how is it possible for 1/5 to rule, oppress, exploit, dominate, and brutalize the 4/5 who are in the majority? How do they do it? Divide and conquer. If I take my hand and slap you, you don't even feel it. It might sting you because these digits are separated. But all I have to do to put you back in your place is bring those digits together. This is what the white man has done to you and me. He has divided us and used us one against the other. Since the so-called Negro community has shocked the white man by resisting all efforts to divide us, I think that you and I should continue to shock him by staying and working together in unity. Despite religious, political, economic, or educational or social differences, let us remember that we're not brutalized because we're Baptists. We're not brutalized because we're Methodists. We're not brutalized because we're Muslims. We're not brutalized because we're Catholics. We're brutalized because we are black people in America.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast. Now, yesterday we was on here for like 4 hours, so I don't plan on being on here too much longer. I don't plan on being on here too long tonight. And I'm gonna put the link in the chat for anybody who want to come on real quick, because like it's not gonna be long. So if you come on, we make it real quick. But there's a couple of things that I had to just come on here, just to, what I'm saying, make it clear, because maybe it came off wrong or something yesterday or whatever. And I ain't trying to have people be like, yo, I influenced them to do nothing, or that I told them to do nothing wrong. Now I understand if you want to, what I'm saying. All right, brother Bakari. Now I understand, right? If you feel like, what I'm saying, it's something that you don't want to be a part of or that you want to stay away from, and I get it. And and it's not against Bakari or Blue or nothing like that, because those my peoples or whatever. But there were, I did hear like some comments that, what I'm saying, I did want to address, just because I have to make it clear, what I'm saying, because we do got an audience or whatever. And I do keep bringing up the coon stuff, what I'm saying, like maybe on purpose or whatever, like or I address it whenever it come up, because like really I'm tired of black people always on this, oh, we our own worst enemy stuff. Oh, black people's is worse than they is kind of stuff. Cause that's the one thing that black people cannot wait to do. Can't wait to say how bad another black person is. And we had a conversation yesterday, so of course, we and I think it was a good conversation, what I'm saying? And I appreciated having it. But also, you got to understand, when I say I'm not as hard on the coon, it's just that I don't put my energy into that, right? I don't put all my energy into saying, oh, well, black people's is worse than we is. No, I put all of my energy onto the root of the problem. Not that somebody else shouldn't put their energy onto that. That's just what I choose to do, because the only thing that I see is black people willing to go at other black people. Like, oh, we got to call out the coon stuff in our community, and fine. If that's what you want to do, then so be it. But I choose not to even go that route. I choose to stay in my own lane. And that's really what I meant by it. But, the fact is, if we keep going after coons, okay, we did a good job taking them out, but now we haven't fixed the root of the problem. So now more quote unquote coons, because like it is subjective, but more people come up to take that place if we don't ever address the system. See, like, I'm worried about black people keep getting on this repeat of let's cleanse our own community and then never actually deal with the root of the problem, so that more people come up and it's a whole different kind of argument. They may have different terminology. They may call themselves something different, but we never actually address the trauma. And every few years, we'll have to exterminate the coons in our community. But I do want to make it clear, what I'm saying, because like when people keep saying, you can't save everybody, I never said I was trying to save everybody. Right? I don't want people to like conflate it with the fact that what's up, bro? How you doing? Yeah, I'm not like I said, I'm gonna drop it. I just wanted to make it clear for like, what I'm saying, like anybody who, because I don't want people to take the wrong message. Like, I never said that you have to be friends with somebody. No. Do you have to be friends with a coon? No. Do you have to let them in your organization? No. Do you have to associate with them? No. Do you have to feed them? No. Do you have to make sure they have a place to stay? No. Are you responsible for changing their mind and the way they look at things? No. But what, in my opinion, should we let somebody attack them or kill them because of? That's what's up, bro. I'm glad you're here. Do we have to let somebody attack them because, what I'm saying, they are black, I don't think that we should. I don't think that we should let our enemy kill because we not might see them as one of us. They might see us as one of us, but to them, they don't see no difference. And that's what I was saying. Because in more cases than not, when you see somebody on the street, you're not gonna know their past, you're not gonna know their history. But a lot of times people keep walking by, and this is one of the things that I want to clear up because Blue is absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want if a child heard it or something like and they get the wrong idea or whatever. I'm not telling nobody to go out there and do anything. Right? I'm not saying go out there and hurt nobody or do nothing like that. But I do talk about self-defense. But see, like, what I talk about is like, and I get it that I may be in a different position, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't have no kids and I can talk a certain way, and I'm not even gonna lie. I am somebody who will rather see like the collapse of the whole society than to rather see how it is. But I know not everybody is on that level. And I respect that, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. And see, I don't have any kids, so I can say and do certain things, and I feel like I don't have nothing to lose. But that's why I admire brothers like Medgar Evers, and that's a whole nother story. But what I'm saying is I don't agree with letting somebody profile one of us, right? And then kill them based off the fact of what we look like. Because if we don't do something, right? Because and the irony is, right? All of these black people was just mad because a white boy shot 2 other white people, and black people was in an outrage and all worried about what was going to happen in that case. But if I say that about somebody who looks like me, who got targeted because they look like me, then all of a sudden, that's dangerous and everything. And I'm gonna put the link in the chat real quick, Bakari. Hold on. But I'm not saying that you have to physically stop it. But I do think that you should do something, at least record it, or you know what I'm saying, stand around and say, hey, you can't do that. I mean, even if you are, and that's not to call nobody scared, but if you are scared, you know what I'm saying, you can still just walk around talking about no justice, no peace. You're welcome to do that all day. But I do think that you should do something when somebody that's look like you is targeted because they look like you. So if you want to walk around and keep saying no justice, no peace, by all means. At least you're doing something though, because putting our head down and walking by, we people make fun of the no justice, no peace, but like, you know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that, you know what I'm saying? And I know people might be like, oh, well, you wouldn't do it, or all of that stuff, or I don't have no experience, or I wouldn't do this or do that. But like I said, well, first of all, people will have to see when they get in that situation what they themselves are willing to do. And when I was younger, yeah, I did keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, yeah, we you staying out there and watching all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, I have had run-ins where I got into it with the cops, but I know that I'm in a position to where like I was just telling Bakari about when these cops pulled me over, you know what I'm saying, harassing me. Now I argue with them, I did all this, but you know what I'm saying, I realized that I was gonna be out there forever. So, they tried to illegally search me and all of this kind of stuff. But trust me, I get it. But at some point, right, you have to have the courage to stand up. And that don't mean being physical, but I don't think that we should let other people keep continuously kill us and put it on TV. And that's for anybody. But that don't mean you have to associate with them or hang out with them or tell them your deepest, darkest secrets. Nobody ever said that. But the thing that we can't avoid is all of this kind of stuff always leads to a slippery slope. You know what I'm saying? Because the obvious stuff is just obvious. right? But there's always going to be a slippery slope because, for example, right? I don't know if y'all heard about that sister who stayed the night with all of them white women. And matter of fact, let me go ahead and put the link in the chat. I just wanted to be clear because I wanted people to be clear because I know some people might be like, oh, I'm telling little children to do this, to do that. And while I do say you have the right to defend yourself, and what I'm saying is no different than what George Washington told America, not to compare or nothing, but it seemed like black people only get it when you talk about white people. It seemed like black people is only offended when you talk about other groups, but black people only offended when you call yourself black. But I do wanted to say, like, because Blue was like, it sounded that way, but I agree that it definitely needs to be a plan, and we be on here talking about plans all day, every day. But at some point, it's that mindset. But it's a slippery slope because you have. What about the sister who spent the night with all of those white women? She was the only black woman. It looked like she ain't have no black friends. All of that kind of stuff. Right now, is she a coon? Should we just be like, oh, she got what she deserved, or better yet, that young 19-year-old brother that ended up hanging from a noose in his white boy's house with Confederate flags everywhere. Now, all you see is pictures of him with white people. He was hanging out with a white person, ended up dead in somebody's in a white boy with Confederate flags everywhere in his attic. Should we be like, oh, he's a coon, he got what he deserved? And like I said, with because Bakari brought up another good point, because they brought up good points, and I don't want y'all to think that we wasn't listening to each other, because we agree with most of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? We really could have ended the show a lot earlier, but it was a good conversation that I thought was an important conversation, and I know a lot of people was going to disagree with me, but I got my reasons for saying what I said, because we can't avoid that slippery slope, because it's a different thing when that coon stuff start coming closer and closer and closer to your family. Because we can understand by somebody that you don't know, that you see on the internet, being disrespectful, but when we start applying this logic, it's going to start spreading. So that young brother, should we be like, he got what he deserved? And I'm not saying that they saying, because Bakari, like, yo, you have the people who are aware of what they're doing and the people who are unaware. But also you have situations where, like, yo, what's going on, Bakari? Yo,
You still there, Forecast?
yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, because I couldn't hear nothing. That's why I asked. Go ahead and finish talking. Go ahead. Keep going in.
All right. But yo, like, because yeah, I was just saying, like, what you was talking about before, because it's like people who are aware of it and people who aren't aware. But then the conversation started getting tricky, because, like, now what about somebody who's in the hood that's, like, selling drugs, or somebody who's a killer who's killing other black people? Because now you have the people talking about, well, this person is a coon. Should we be like, he deserve it if a police roll up and kill him? You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying is a slippery slope. Because if you look at it, you know what I'm saying, hold up. But yeah, like also, if you should ignore that person instead of trying to reach out to help them. And it's not to reach out and help him, but that is a young G looking up to him, trying to be like him, but he could see that role model, or see, like, well, this is the only thing I've ever seen, but now I see somebody who was challenging that mindset and giving them better information. Whether that person wants to change or not is irrelevant, because some kid may now change just from seeing that. You know what I'm saying? And I do think that information, should be out there, but it's people that we would call coons, right? Like somebody like Cynthia G, she'll look at somebody and get shot and be like, well, he was a coon, he deserved it. But then we'll call them a coon for saying that. But who is the coon? But it always, you know what I'm saying, like I said, it leads to the slippery slope, because then you'll start getting to the point where it'll be somebody out here like saying somebody like Louis Farrakhan is a coon, you know. So should we walk past if something happened to Louis Farrakhan? Is he the coon, or is the person calling him the coon a coon? Because now, even though you may think that Farrakhan is a coon, there is a nation of people, and some of them are not. So, but they're now going to be willing to fight and throw it all away. So now you got two groups of people fighting each other. You know what I'm saying, about who is the coon and who's not the coon. And now that's more internal division. And see, my goal, and when I say I'm not hard on it, I just mean I don't want to talk about it, because my goal is to get that self-hatred and face it the other way. You know what I'm saying? But you'll because like and Bakari, I'm sure you heard people, because they always gonna try to do this to black leaders. I'm sure you heard people say they people call somebody like Marcus Garvey a coon, you know what I'm saying? And talking about he was trying to be with the Irish and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
also heard people, yeah, I've heard that they called him a coon.
right.
I've heard them call him what they say, he was a scammer. And it's always our people that's looking for that. Even with that lie, Thomas Sowell, however you say his name, wrote in his book about what the red, black, and green means, right? Uh, it means red for the Native Americans, green for the Irish, and black was for black people because we were all oppressed. That doesn't have nothing to do with what the flag is for. That's not what it meant. Red for the blood, black for the people, green for the land, which is Africa. And I can speak on that because I am a member of the UNIA Division 421, President Ross Marvin here in Atlanta. So I can say that I know he's lying about that. And I can also tell you, I know when these people talk about Marcus Garvey to get views and stuff and call him an agent and call him a coon, I also know they only talking about one part of Marcus Garvey, which he was never an agent and he was never a coon. See, I love Marcus Garvey, but I won't ever say he was perfect. Did he make mistakes in the beginning? Yes. He made mistakes because he was also trying to live off some of the donations and he kicked out some good people that was trying to help him. But once he realized the mistakes that he made, he brought those people back, and the businesses and everything that the UNIA had in control was set up properly because he was trying to do everything by himself. You know, so we're gonna always look. Somebody say, why did he meet with the Klan? And he met with the Klan. He sure did. The Klan that he met with, they were senators. And they told him they could help him get to Africa, the people that he wanted to take to Africa. That was the purpose of meeting with the Klan. And also, because Marcus Garvey organization was revolutionary, the UNIA, go back and look up the African Communities League. Go back and look it up and see the dress that the men wore. He had a small military with him. So then they wanted to cut out some fighting because the UNIA was not bowing down. Matter of fact, that book I asked people to read, We Will Shoot Back, and you will see the stronghold that the UNA had in places like Mississippi and Louisiana. Matter of fact, a whole lot of the South. And you will see that was people in the UNIA later on around the early 1900s, right? That was people from what Marcus Garvey had created in the UNIA that was fighting back. And it continued on with the Deacons of Defense. The Deacons of Defense was birthed out of the UNIA. But you are correct. You will find a lot of black people who will get on YouTube and talk negative about that. And that's why I say some people cooning and they know it. It's a difference. Some people unwittingly coon. And when they're talking negative about, I say, the greatest leader, they may not think he's the greatest leader. But when you're talking negative about someone who started an organization that helped create 1,000 black-owned businesses, where they had grocery stores that helped create a small technical college, a vocational school, the original Liberty University. And by the way, it was in Virginia where the Liberty University is today, the Christian school. And they had grocery stores and they had ships. I think one of them got on the water, maybe two of them. But the first black dolls factory, black owned doll factory in this country that made black baby dolls to show black girls that black is beautiful. But when you can find people that only want to look and try to find the negative in what he did, they don't understand how they are cooning. They are doing it because they want to get views on YouTube because they have turned YouTube into a job. And since they have turned it into a job, I can commend them for that. That's good. They were able to turn this into a job. But you don't shit on your, pardon my French, you don't take a dump on your own people all the time for views and for money. But that also shows the mindset of black people who follow people like that where they can get paid, where they don't have nothing positive to say about the leaders that came before us. Go ahead, Forecast. I'll yield the mic.
Yeah, that's a fact, bro. Like, yo, people look for excuses to be like, yo, you follow who? Oh, well, you shouldn't follow him because A, B, C, and D. And you can name every black leader that has come out that somebody looks up to. You know what I'm saying? Like, Marcus Garvey is just, one name, but that's what I mean by like that whole thing is a slippery slope because like some of them are aware that they're selling out, you know what I'm saying? But like, does that mean I'm all right with them like being like targeted and murdered or something? Like now that's two different subjects. Now we was just on the subject having a conversation, but that don't mean that I want them in my circle. That don't mean I want them in my group. That don't mean I'm gonna tell them my plans. I'll trust them as far as I can throw them. Now, if they can go over there and I hear the stuff that they're saying, or I can see what the younger generation and I can start putting it together, like because we got to understand these broken home stuff is relatively new. This kind of stuff wasn't happening to families in the 60s. It really wasn't happening to families in the 70s. It kind of started, but the drug epidemic destroyed black families in the 80s. And that's why I started off the whole show talking about that being one of the major factors, like the chemical warfare that they're involved in, you know what I'm saying? But we now seeing like the results of the children of that. And I want to listen to see like when you go to listen to the black women that hate black men stuff, it's not that I want to change who they are, but I do want to hear, because one of their complaints, what's causing people to go over there, they feel like when you say pro-black, that means pro-black male. And yeah, there are people that I know that is very true, you know what I'm saying? But you can't make that the face of it. But basically, like all I'm trying, because I just came on here. The only reason I'm talking about it because I didn't want people to think that I'm telling them to go do something. You know what I'm saying? If you want to still go out there with your signs on and stuff like that and say no justice, no peace, by all means, you know what I'm saying? That don't mean you have to, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not telling nobody to do what I would do. You know what I'm saying? But, if you feel like I don't know something, then you can come on here, you know what I'm saying, and say what you got to say, you know what I'm saying, and tell me what I don't know, you know what I'm saying. And if you feel like people shouldn't be around me, then, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. But like the only thing that I was saying, right, if a black man is standing in front of a white man, I'm still going to aim for the white dude. You know what I'm saying? Am I going to tell the black man, get out the way? Hey, it was his choice for being in there. But I understand how some black people feel like, okay, I got to aim at that black man first so I can get a clear shot on the white man. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is I would go for the root of the problem first, because that's what I just feel is the root of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if we always try to talk about exterminating the coon, like then you start getting channels where people only talk about black people. People only got smoke for black people. And when I say I'm not as hard on the coon, it just means that I got all the smoke for other groups of people and not just our own. Not that nobody else should do that, not that you should welcome them in or nothing like that. But like I'm just tired of people only having smoke for black people and nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I do come on here, and instead of showing that young brother face, we gonna show that little lying white girl face. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm gonna come on here and show these cops and put their names on there. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm pretty much saying. But like, Bakari, before I pass it to you, you know what I'm saying? Like, since we here, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be on here long because that was like 4 hours yesterday, bro. Like my whole day was kind of off. But yo, like as far as like the coon thing, right? Because like ADOS, right? They kind of use the black coon thing argument, right? Because they be like, oh, we're not against immigrants. We're just against the immigrants that come over here and be coons and knowingly affect the situation. And then they got something to say about that. You know what I'm saying? And then it turned into a beef thing. You like that's what I mean. Like the whole coon thing started to be a slippery slope because eventually somebody's gonna come and say something about somebody leader.
Yep, and the whole ADOS thing. That thing is they're not even against immigrants per se. All immigrants, they're against black immigrants. That's who they are against, and they don't know they're cooning. All of them know. Now, I believe the leaders at the top, and I don't want to say their name on your on your channel, but they know they are cooning because I believe they're getting paid, right? They have people waiting, and and while we're clarifying things and about the coons and all that, let me clarify when I say I'm not part of the reparations movement. When I say I'm not a part of the reparations movement, I see when I say it's a pipe dream. I still do believe that, but I think for me, I see how it has made a lot of people wait. And I ain't just talking about sitting here listening to people on YouTube. People I know that watch YouTube, they're waiting for reparations, and we are not moving forward. We are waiting on white folks to give you something so they could constantly always be in control of you. And that's my problem with that. Because we are following coons who know that they are cooning, who only want to talk negative about other black people. We say we are against certain things, but if somebody can wave a, not even wave, talk about a make believe check, then all of a sudden you give it up. Because people say they believe this homosexual agenda is a bad thing. I really do. But then when you're ADOS, one of your leaders is a homosexual woman that live with a white woman, and we tend we'll follow these coons, and then we tend to follow anything because we think white people is about to give us some money. I believe in us taking care of ourselves. If reparations come, it's a plus. But if it doesn't come, which I believe it won't, but if it does not come, we we are in a position where we are taking care of ourselves. Now, when you're in a position taking care of ourselves, also go down that road where you were just talking about the things that we can do if you see a black person getting hurt. With all these black people in this country, right? There's no need, there's no reason why we don't have, other than, give me 1 second. Other than with the lack of trying, that we don't have a system where if somebody sees something, we can make a call. We can shoot out a mass text. And we should be in every city, in every area, where there should always be 10, 15 black men, strong black men gonna show up. Y'all ain't hurting nobody today. Y'all ain't beating nobody today. Y'all ain't killing nobody today. What did he do? And we gonna follow you to the police station to make sure everything go okay. That's just something that we have to work on. We waiting on them to give us all of their. We're waiting on them to do everything for us. I understand what you mean when you say they are attacking a black person and you would still try and do something. That's why I went to the far extreme when I said the guy named last night. And I said you would still help somebody who want to see us dead, who have. I went to the far extreme. I knew what you meant. I just went to the extreme to see what you're gonna say. Plus, it was a good conversation, right? Uh, so I understand what you're saying. If people go through my channel, they will see where I've stopped and recorded the police to make sure the brother don't get hurt. He's pulled over. They going through his car, taking his guns. I'm like, man, you okay? Yeah. What happened? Oh, somebody hit me. Now he was in a car wreck. Somebody hit him. He was not in the wrong. But they have him pulled over, going through his car, taking his guns out of the car. I'm like, man, are you okay? Do you need anything? Anything I can do? He like, no, I'm straight. I said, well, man, I'm gonna stay here till the situation is over with. He was like, all right, then appreciate you, bro. And that's what I did. I stayed there till the situation was over with. And I had my little 9mm on my side. But that's what we're supposed to do. And there should be a mass email, mass text that go out when something like that happens. They have Amber Alert. We need Black people alert, not just because there's a missing Black child, but also because of, oh, there's a Black man being jumped on by the police. You understand what I'm saying? Those are some of the things that we have to work on and want to build. And by the way, peace to everybody in the chat. Peace, Sister Raw. What's up, Pledge?
Yo,
It's
what
on
up,
you first.
Pillage? Yeah, that's a good idea though, Bakari. Like a mass texting. And like, yeah, I understand it was definitely for conversation purposes and like because for real, like if we see it happening, it's not like we gonna know who the person is, you know what I'm saying? And most of the cases, we not gonna be like, hey, ain't that the dude that be on YouTube like talking about Black women, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, like Bakari, I don't know if you heard that part. Like when I brought up that sister, you remember that story with that sister, who was spent the night at all of them, and she was the only Black woman, and she ended up dead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like so, like wouldn't that be like protect? Because I talked about her, and I think that people should stand up for that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I like you were saying about like unknowingly, like I can't say that she knew or not. So I don't know. I guess that's a bad example, but you know, like that's the only thing I meant by it. But like I do think that Black people far too often do keep walking by and don't help or say nothing or do nothing. I mean, I'm not telling nobody go up and smack a cop, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, and I'm no, most people won't, but at least, you know what I'm saying, like say, hey, somebody come and look at this, you know what I'm saying, or something, you know, like people got phones now, you can record it. And but I, you know, from what I know, like people say, oh, all we do is stand there and record. I don't think that we should keep letting people have casualties, you know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say like I would still do that for a person like that, you know, and I know you know, but I have to make it clear because some people don't know, you know what I'm saying, that it doesn't mean you have to be friends with them or welcome them in your club, but I do think that the person should like the cop who's targeting them, they're still gonna be on that force targeting random Black men, women, and children. You know what I'm saying? So I do think those are opportunities because Black people just got mad because 2 white boys got killed and people were up in arms, you know what I'm saying? But those same Black people wouldn't step up for a Black person, you know what I'm saying, if they feel like they're self-hate. But how is those white people on our teams? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you feel what I'm saying, Nobukari?
Yeah, I don't see none of those white people on our team. But I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It's sometimes I say it's difficult, but then it's not difficult. And because it's according to the people you deal with, right? I deal with people like me that's ready to step two. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Those are the type of people I deal with, right? Ready to step two. You know, I had some people ask me to calm down when I went at the cop that night for disrespecting my daughter. And he disrespecting, cursing my daughter out, disrespecting her and disrespecting me because he saw me there. It's a dare. See, that's where we are right now. It's a dare because they haven't seen Black men do anything. So now it's a dare. So I can't say we're not in a position to win. Because was I outnumbered that night by the police? Hell yeah, it was probably about 20 police out there. Yeah, I was outnumbered. But that one I was talking to, I was gonna get him. And I'm not telling nobody to do what I do if it's not in you. But we do need to create a mass text so we can take care of one another and stop thinking other people is on our side. Stop thinking those white women on. Go back through history. Didn't I put up a book on the show he was doing throughout history, how white women went through slavery and all of that, what they have done? Study this feminist movement. It was a white woman that created the feminist movement. Help destroy black families because our people, for some reason, tend to think they have something good for us. We are all we got. We all we got. We all we got. It's black people versus everybody. It's black people versus the world. It's African people versus the world. We all we got. And the ones that don't want to be a part, don't worry about them. We can X them out. So we all we got. We are all we got. And we need to understand that. I get it, Mike.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we all we got, and you know what I'm saying, and that's why I think that we have to be on code. But I definitely wanted to come and clarify that. But and Bakari, I don't know, like we don't have to, but like yesterday, you was like that was kind of like what I was saying was like kind of like power to all the people. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about that?
Power to all the oppressed people in the world. But when those oppressed people ain't oppressed no more, they tend to oppress the black people who trying to stand up for them. Ain't that's how that normally work? We gonna stand up for all the oppressed people in the world, but then these so-called oppressed Chinese and Koreans and Arabs and East Indians come to your community and start businesses, and then they oppress you. And then it becomes confusing. It becomes confusing to some of our people. I really believe it becomes confusing to some of our people that want to fight back because we only focus on one people. And since we only focus on one people and we gonna fight with everybody else because it's all power to all people. So now it's easy for those people to come in our communities and open businesses and we ignore them, but go to their communities and open a business. Well, when I say ignore them, we ignore the fact that they're not us. But now let's go to their community and open up a business and see if you get supported. No, you're not. So we are the only people that's fighting for a tie in the game King of the Mountain. We are the only ones that fighting for a tie in this race for survival, in this race for live, in this race for everything we need. We are fighting for a tie. And we are Team Black. And on our team, we're not fighting for a tie. We fighting for power. We want to win. So no, I don't chant the all power to all people, to all the people. No, I don't do that. That's not my thing. I get the mic.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, bro. Like, and when I say, what I'm saying, I believe in power to us, you know what I'm saying? Other groups, they gonna do what they gotta do, you know what I'm saying? And we aren't the ones that historically have been about trying to destroy other civilizations, but we have in recent history have escaped from wanting to build our own civilizations, our own societies, you know what I'm saying? And we, instead of saying power to us too, like you could add the two in if you need to, you know what I'm saying? So you don't feel racist, like because Bakari and Pelez had a good conversation about that too. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to add the two so you don't feel quote unquote racist, then go ahead and do that. But say power to yourself. And to me, I think that is different when I talk about it, and I know not everybody gonna agree, but I think it's different because when I say power, like for all of this stuff to stop, you're gonna have to have a system in place or something because we don't have a country, nation, army, or none of that stuff to back us up. And we are all easy targets. And within that makes black women the easiest target, no matter what we want to say. And I know black men kind of get mad or whatever, but you can't complain about a black woman if you haven't developed something to protect her, if you haven't played your part of the role. You know what I'm saying? You can't get mad at somebody else. First, you got to play your part of the role. And our part is to build a system. You know what I'm saying? So that system, no matter where in the world, is going to protect a black person. Now, if they want to go live in Scotland or whatever the whitest country in the world is, you know what I'm saying? If they want to go be an alternative Asian, you know what I'm saying? But if they're targeted because they're black in Asia, they have a system set in place that will punish the person that's targeting them. Now, that doesn't mean, oh, they got arrested or something like that and they went to that jail. But it means if they got persecuted, if they got executed, if they got targeted because of their skin color, because of their quote unquote phenotype, you know what I'm saying? Then there should be a system put in place, and that's to protect all of us. You know what I'm saying? And I do think that if for us to say like some people and not all, it will be like kind of a slippery slope. But you know, we definitely agree with power to all the people. But like when I say that, like the power is the system to enforce a protection over you, a system to keep the dangers out of your community, a system to build a way for us to all eat. And it don't matter your ideology if you are putting towards this system that is helping to keep us safe globally, you know what I'm saying, so we can be able to compete. But yeah, Bakari.
Yeah, I agree with all power to all black people, all power to all African people, however we want to say it. But I think we spend too much time focusing. I'm talking about us as a people, as a unit. How we'll take a lot of our time to focus and try to care about other people that don't care about us at all. We living in a world where every group of people has figured out that it's us or them. You understand? That's what they have figured out. It's us or them. Dr. Barbara Sizemore say black people still don't get it. And what is it don't we get? One of the things that we don't get is we have to love ourselves more than we love anybody else. And when we go stand to fight, we're fighting for us. We're not fighting for everybody. That's one of the things I think we have to understand. That's what I think. Well, I know that's what we have to understand. And in all honesty, while we talking and want to try to work with and fix other people, right? We can't work with and fix anyone if we are not fixed. You feel me? We have to be fixed in order for us to do anything. We have to make sure our situation is good. We have to make sure everything is good about our situation before we start pumping the black fist for the rest of the world. Before we start truly supporting a people of a color, people of color, or all the oppressed people, or all the whatever the hell we want to call it. We have to stay focused, because if you're not focused and you're all over the place, you'll never fix you. We won't be on topic. The topic is supposed to be us. The topic can't be everybody. Well, for a year that might. I don't
Yeah,
know how many other people had to live in this country and use a green book. I don't know.
a
Can
green
you
book.
tell me? Yeah, you remember, you know what the green book is, right?
What?
The book that black people had to use back in the day, where it was roads that were safe for them to travel and where they could stop and eat in hotels they could live on. It's called a green book.
Mm,
You should look
nah.
it up.
Yeah, I ain't know that.
Yeah, yeah, green book. Now I yield the mic.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I gotta definitely look that up. You know, and I agree with you, Bakari. Like we waste our time. You know, like you like the saying is a saying that goes behind it. You can't help the poor people if you wanted them. So how you gonna help somebody else get power if you all the way at the bottom of the power? Like you saying, like, oh, I'm gonna let you stand on my shoulders so you can get power to your people. You know what I'm saying? and they not lifting that hand to help you back up. And I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? And like I also think that we waste too much time worried about trying to like go at each other. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that we waste all of our time trying to like, find ways to discredit each other, try to hurt each other instead of actually spending our time to build the stuff that we got to build. Because like when we be talking about Team Black, because people be saying that to us about Team Black, like you can't save everybody. It's not about saving everybody. It's about the people who want to be a part of something that's tired of the system. It has to be an option for them. You know what I'm saying? The people who want to be a part of it will be a part of it. Like minds always seem to attract each other. And I know if we put more focus on the positive stuff instead of the negative stuff, we'll grow the positive things. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about what somebody else is not doing. Just worry about what you are doing to contribute to it. You know what I'm saying? But we take too much time or waste too much time because people always be like, yo, they bang on somebody for 3 months and then be like, oh, let me get back to the information. You know what I'm saying? Like, we waste so much time doing that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that at the heart of like what I mean when I say the things that I say, I don't focus on how, because at the end of the day, they can't stop me. You know what I'm saying? Like what we have to do and the things that we are building, it can't be infiltrated. Somebody can't come in and change. Like that's why we have to focus on building our stuff. Me supporting Brother Bakari, helping him build his business. Me supporting Pelez, supporting Raw, supporting Erica, supporting Blue. That can't be infiltrated. You know what I'm saying? We have too much fear in too many different directions. And we have to start focusing, like Bakari was just saying, focusing on actually building something and doing something instead of trying to tear down something, because we are already torn down enough. So if you feel like somebody else isn't doing something good enough, you go out there and you do it and you build whatever it is you think that we need, because we have to stop wasting time talking about or worrying about people who you think aren't going to help build. Because if we was to do that, we wouldn't even be talking about Team Black. We would be talking about how this organization is corrupt. You know what I'm saying? Because like some people would be like, somebody like Huey Newton is you know what I'm saying, was a sellout, or like, or different groups. But then there are other people who will be like, die for that. You know what I'm saying? So even though you can't like have a certain conversation, but it's about taking the positive things and building on that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being scared or worrying about the negative. But yo, Bakar, you want to go in?
You know what? I agree. We have to start focusing more. We have to start seeing the positive more. I understand when you say you don't want to be on here going with the back and forth. We like to find the negative in one another, right? And I'm gonna tell you some forecast now. Your channel have way more subscribers than mine. You have about 4,000 or something like that, right? I have like 400, which I'm cool with that, right? I am extremely okay with just having that. You feel me? What we have to do is, it shows, in all honesty, it shows the mindset of our people to a certain extent, right? So what we have to do is we have to be willing to say we're going to change the mindset of our people, or we only going to deal with people that have a certain mindset. But we don't want to just block people out. I want people to come in who want to learn and want to be a part, and who's not going to want to cause confusion. You have to want to listen and learn, and you have to want to change and be better so you can be better for the betterment of our race. So you can be a better black man, better for the black woman. Want you to learn to be happy to say that you are a protector and a provider, a protector and a provider for your family. We supposed to want and have that respect for ourselves. Respect, love, provide, protect, the four pillars. So forecast on what you when it comes to all the negativity and everything that we going through on here. And it's okay for us to have a discussion, a discussion that we don't even agree with one another. But then we have too many people that if I don't agree with you, so now I'm going to talk extremely negative about you because you ain't nothing and you're not smarter than me. Not only am I going to show you I'm smarter than you, I'm going to berate, belittle, degrade you because you came over here and I call that a bunch of weak information. And we have to be a better people. We want our women. I heard some people say, well, just follow instructions. Well, we want our women to follow instructions. We want our women to get in line, whatever. If that's what's going to happen, our men, as black men, we have to understand that we have a role and we have to play our role. So our women will be willing to play their role. We have to start speaking some positivity in this thing. We have to start talking about some of the positive. And we have to get away from all of it. If we can't have a civil debate and be cool afterward, we have to get away from all the negative debates. So I agree with you on that, not talking about anything on it like that. So once again, I yield the mic.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And and I think that we should be able to have those conversations. And I appreciated you having the conversation with the with Ryan Silly, you know what I'm saying? And I know he a young dude and what I'm saying, he got a lot to learn. Ain't no telling where he gonna be, what I'm saying, in his 30s, you know what I'm saying? I even heard like MD2 mention like, yo, back in my day, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't, what I'm saying, like on that level yet. So like it's no telling where, what I'm saying, the young dude gonna be. But I really just wanted to come on here and clear it up. And I was supposed to do a show with Ben this weekend, like a tech show, but all the shows was like super late. So I'm probably gonna set one up. It might have to be next weekend. But I definitely had to come on here and like, what I'm saying, clarify because I didn't want people to have the wrong impression about the conversation or that, what I'm saying, because me, you, and Blue, we agreed on like most of the stuff we were saying, but it was just a good conversation. We didn't want to get off of here, so you know what I'm saying. But that's for like not for Blue and not for Bakari because I know that they understand. We talk about it all the time. But this for those people who may not understand, or for children who may have been watching it, getting the wrong impression. But I am telling you, you know what I'm saying, nothing no different than George Washington told America, right? Nothing is wrong with defending yourself. But yo, Bakari, I appreciate you for coming on. I decided the show late, man. I keep messing up, but yo, you wanna you can take as long as you want, and like what I'm saying, go ahead and go in and close out and stuff.
No, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna thank y'all. Thank you for allowing me to come on your panel. Peace to everybody in the chat. I thank y'all for coming through, listening. Hope y'all enjoyed this conversation. I'm Brother Bakari. If y'all hadn't heard of me, you heard of me now. Go check out my channel. Check out some of the things that we talk about. We're about unity over here. That's why I put in the chat. Hashtag Team Black. It's Team Black. We're a team. It don't make a difference your tribe. It doesn't make a difference your Team Black. Pan-Africanism, that's what I say. So, far as I'm concerned, right, we on the same team. We going down the same road. And it's time for us to build. Forecast, just put in an email. If you want to connect, that's what we need to be doing. The b1list@gmail.com. And once again, I thank everybody for listening. Forecast, man, this was a good conversation we had tonight. We're going to have to come back to it. So, man, I thank you for allowing me, man. Peace. One love to everybody.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And Bakari, you put your channel in the chat. I didn't get a chance to do it. But yeah, definitely, man. It was definitely a good conversation. Yesterday was a good conversation. And I hope people that actually learn, you know what I'm saying, from both sides of the equation because these conversations have been had over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't agree, I understand. It is what it is. but you know, we have our perspectives, and we have our perspectives for a reason, but they all go together. That's the whole point of what we doing when we talk about, you know what I'm saying, when Bakari talk about Team Black, you know what I'm saying, all of these perspectives putting together to build one great thing. And this is why I talk about it can't be like one person. It has to be you know, put together a group to be in charge. We can't put it all on one person, you know what I'm saying? Because one person may not think like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be more of a council kind of mindset. You know what I'm saying? We are scarred already as it is. And you know, it's not to make an excuse for black people. It's just that we have to start, you know what I'm saying, addressing the generational quote unquote curses that we keep passing down. You know what I'm saying? I understand that people think that, you know what I'm saying, you don't have to really, but these are things that we're gonna have to address, because if we had the answers, then why do we still pass down these generational curses? Because it doesn't make sense. We have to start examining the real root of the problem so that we can fix the problem, not necessarily fix the person, but fix the problem, to stop developing a system to develop people that grow up to be self-haters. Because at the end of the day, more people than not will probably, you know, have that complex, that anti-black complex, that alternative black, that multiracial, that indigenous, that, you know, any kind of thing that more, that we shouldn't call ourselves black. We should say a name that I've never even heard of. But guess what? No matter what name you call yourself, you can't escape the situation that you're in. You can't escape the problems by changing your name. You know what I'm saying? And as long as we are working together to build the things that we have to build to offer ourselves that protection, right? You don't have to feed everybody. You don't have to be friends with everybody. You don't have to sing kumbaya. Even in the same group, not everybody's going to get along. People may fight, but if y'all can fight in that same group and shake hands, then we can start getting somewhere. But then too often when we fight, we fall out for months at a time. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we have to start focusing on us and the building our own stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I focus on the enemy, and somebody else's focuses on, you know what I'm saying, another problem. You know what I'm saying? We all got to stay in our lane, you know what I'm saying? And that's why it works good together. That's why I appreciate Bakari coming on here. You know what I'm saying? Bakari always brings another perspective, you know what I'm saying? Like I know like Bakari got way more experience than me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that I know everything. You know what I'm saying? So I listen to the older people, like, you know what I'm saying, Bakari, like MG2. Then, you know, I listen to Blue, and we can have these conversations and not have any problems with each other. You know what I'm saying? We can disagree and still move forward. Like, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing, because nobody going to agree 100% on anything. And that's the thing. When you start following somebody 100% on everything, then something is a red flag right there. You don't have to agree with everybody on everything. Stay in your own lane and have confidence in yourself enough to build yourself up. But yo, I appreciate y'all for listening, man. And we definitely gonna come back. I'm gonna come back with Ben. Maybe Bakari gonna have a couple shows this week. So we definitely gonna come back, and I'm gonna be earlier next week. So yo, what's going on, Rashid? I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate you for coming. But yeah, we about to go now, man. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we gonna keep falling for anything.